Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 975. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Warren here? Yeah, Warren's finally back.
Yep.
After two weeks away.
3 weeks.
Because
3 weeks away.
Yeah, Deb and Erica were the week before, and then Sam Watts was a great guest last week.
3 weeks travel, 2 weeks away, yes, from the show.
That's true. Although you did interviews, and today we get back to our commentaries for Planet of the Spiders Part 3. This is when it starts getting good, folks. This is finally when we get to Metebelis 3, and the story gets great.
Nothing could be better.
Yeah.
Or something.
Nothing could be finer. No, nothing could be something meaning good that rhymes with Metebelis 3.
Metebelis rhymes with Metebelis.
Yeah, you can leave all those car chases behind. Now we've got some talking in a camp that's in a studio.
It's good stuff. It is good, well-lit stuff. So that's what's coming today. Welcome back, Warren. Hope your travels were fun.
They were. Spent a week in Sweden. That was pretty relaxing.
That's true. Was it really? Was it actually relaxing? Or because I've heard the Swedes
we actually our last day we hung out in the Swedish countryside, and just imagine a large burly man who's into medieval costuming who has a Swedish accent, and he was razzing one of his other friends. These are all friends of friends.
Okay.
And he does a successful razz, and he goes, and with that, I retreat to the shadows. It was absolutely beautiful.
Wow, that's something.
It's become my new phrase du jour.
And with that,
retreat to the shadows.
To the shadows.
No, that's a good razzing.
That's what I do when I joke bombs at a public gathering. I just said, with that, I retreat to the shadows.
You got to wear a cloak when you do it, though.
That's true. Well, welcome back, Warren.
Thank you.
Good to have you back here. You missed our 18th anniversary last week, though.
Well, once again, I've failed.
Yeah. 18 years we've been doing this silly thing. And some change now.
Yep.
But,
let's get this podcast drunk. I'm not sure how, but...
Yeah,
not
in
BC, you can't.
No, but this province, BC. Alberta, land of the free.
So it's up to you to corrupt our youth. And by youth, I mean podcast.
Yes, it is. 18. We can vote. We can certainly vote. This podcast can vote. It is now a entity that will now vote in elections, I guess.
What if it rebels against us and votes conservative?
It might do that. It'll vote for like the Alberta Party or something. Like, what does it even stand for? I don't know. No idea.
Who cares, man?
No idea.
Anyway. I don't know why this 18-year-old is talking like it's from 1968. But
I don't know, man. Cares, man. Sounds like you're a narc. Working for the cops.
Thanks, Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, the late great Dennis Hopper.
I'd like to strike the great from the record, but sure, very late.
Yeah. He was in Apocalypse Now. Not many people know that, but he was in Apocalypse Now.
Yes, nobody who watched it was aware of it.
I don't think he was aware that he was in Apocalypse Now.
That's certainly true, yes.
People don't realize Lawrence Fishburne was in Apocalypse Now.
He wondered if it was. It was a 14-year-old. Awesome, yeah, he was 14 years old. He lied about his age, just like people lied about their age to get into the war. Lawrence Fishburne lied about his age to get in the movie.
He's great in Hearts of Darkness, where they're interviewing 14-year-old Lawrence Fishburne. He's like, yeah, the war was so cool, man. I'm like, I said it's only a 14-year-old can.
Yeah, this looks awesome, man. Anyway, on to some Doctor Who stuff. Let's talk about some Doctor Who, why don't we? Did you know that the war between the land and the sea, hitherto referred to as TWBTLATS, the second T is silent, they announced a couple other cast members. Ruth Madeley is returning to the role as Shirley Bingham that we saw in The Star Beast and The Giggle. And also Colin McFarlane reprising his role from Torchwood, Children of Earth, but not reprising his role from Before the Flood, After the Sea. What was it called? The Capaldi two-parter. He was in that one too.
Oh, that's right. He was in there too.
Is he actually reprising, or are you just making stuff up?
No, he's literally reprising his role from Children of Earth. Yeah.
Okay. What is his role? I don't remember what that is.
He was a general in Children of Earth. Yeah, I can't remember the name of his character. I'm sure it's written in this press release, but he is reprising his role from that. So that's kind of cool. Yes, we will look back at Children of Earth probably next year. I don't know when. Sometime close to when TWBTLATS is about to premiere.
I worry that we liked it because it was edgelordy, which was the style at the time.
General Austin Pierce.
There we go, Austin Pierce, which is almost Austin Powers, but
bring back the American president who was vaporized, president-elect who was vaporized.
President-elect, oh boy. I mean, there could have been a situation where the president-elect was sent to be representing the U.S. instead of the president. It sounds
like the kind of thing Trump would do in blatant violation of the Logan Act. But yeah, okay.
It sounds like something that we would do if like Trump was there. Like so basically the Last of the Time Lords takes place between November, like the first Tuesday of November and January 20th or something like that. And so instead of sending the president who's running up the clock in their term, we're sending President-elect Hugh Walters or whatever the hell his name is.
Did Doctor Who predict January 6th? Check out my 16-part YouTube 14-hour video essay about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, they had a cast, and there's a lovely picture of the six of them there in at the read-through.
So is this Lenny Rush erasure, or?
I think Lenny Rush was basically a stopgap for when Ruth Madeley was not available to be in.
You mean when she was in Geneva?
She was in Geneva. That's where all the actors go when they're not. Nicholas Courtney was in Geneva during the android invasion, for instance. So
So will he come back for season 2 though? I mean, I didn't mind Lenny Rush. He was kind of entertaining. So
I don't think so. No offense to Lenny Rush. I think they probably saw an opening and thought, well, wait a minute, Ruth Madeley's not going to be there for our 2-part finale. Let's get Lenny Rush in to be that instead of the voice of a space baby. And that's where that came about. That's
Can you imagine if the voice of a space baby inexplicably and never explained was in that finale 2-parter?
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure inexplicably means never explained.
Yeah. Then
no,
explain
I mean,
it.
okay, well, what I'm saying is inexplicably to us, also never explained on screen.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I contain multitudes.
I like that idea.
Sure.
Just like I think, did somebody say that Timothy Dalton should be the new M in James Bond? And like, no,
that would rule.
They should just not explain it. Just should not explain why he's like, wait a minute. They just like, you make a connection and never. But of course, it's movies, and they can never resist making a meta wink because that's what movies and TV is now. You have to make meta winks to the audience.
Well, after Judi Dench played M,
right,
and the role got gender swapped. I mean that. Timothy Dalton can only play M if we have a female James Bond.
Was it Ray Fiennes before or after Judi Dench? It was after Judi Dench,
yeah,
right?
post. The past couple.
He did a good job too. I mean,
Ray Fiennes is great in it.
Also, Ben Whishaw better than John Cleese.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, but not what I can't remember the actor's name, but the original Q is still.
Desmond Llewellyn.
Desmond Llewellyn, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Whishaw's good though.
Robert Llewellyn, not really actually, but. Anyway, James Bond.
No, it's a completely uncommon Welsh name.
That's true. James Bond, 28, whatever the next film, coming 2032, starring Ncuti Gatwa.
Starring the entire cast of TWBTLATS.
Yeah, TWBTLATS is going to be
soft launch.
Yeah, TWBTLATS is a soft launch. James Bond versus Sea Devils, and the end of episode 5.
Baffling anybody who hasn't watched Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Russell, quite a few have.
RTD in his Instagram post about this, the cast announcement was also said that says, Colin McFarlane's reprising his role, Ruth Madeley's back, and Russell Tovey and Gugu Mbatha Raw. Well, secret spoilers or something as to what their characters are. So, like, for some reason, there's mystery to their characters, despite them not being reprised characters of their previous Doctor Who roles.
Gugu is Bond. I'm calling it now.
Gugu's Bond. Tovey is somebody else.
Yeah, some guy in the background.
The son of Kate Stewart and I'm trying to think of who else was around Unit at that time, but I don't know.
The Serpent, the Grand Serpent.
Mike Yates.
Yeah, Mike Yates. There we go. Probably not.
Mike Yates had a fling with the Briggs' daughter.
That's disgusting.
He stepped out on Joe.
Let's
Let's park and then destroy that thought.
Yeah, let's do that. Exactly. Anyway, so the read-through is that happened, August 19th, August 20th. So they are, excuse me, they're going to be starting to shoot that. I saw somewhere that they're hoping to wrap that up by December, which is not, it's a 5-part series, so I can kind of see that. And as we talked about last week, Russell T Davies and or Julia Garner, I can't remember which mentioned it in Doctor Who magazine, but foreign location shoot for that. So, yeah, who knows where that'll be? But unless they call like Jersey a foreign location, I don't know.
The volume. They're going to call up some exotic locale on the volume.
The volume. Yeah. So.
No, the volume was in Jersey. See, it all works out.
Jersey, where they'll be shooting Bergerac. New season of Bergerac, another reboot happening. Bergerac. Toby
What the
Woodhouse
world
is
needs
behind that.
more reboots.
Great.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there we go. Hey, here's some good news. Disney chief, this is what the headline from Deadline is. Disney chief backs Doctor Who as, quote, really good fit after Ncuti Gatwa's first season. This Disney chief is Disney's senior vice president of original productions. Liam Keelan is the one that
I thought it was going to be Iger, but no dice.
It's not Iger. Iger doesn't make these kind of comments, I guess, but Keelan was at the Edinburgh TV Festival. And where he's talking about Doctor Who, so there we go. So it seems to be hitting well with the folks from Disney. They're pleased with it.
The guys that make non-committal statements are non-committally stating about it.
Yeah, that's true. Or maybe he just said it because he knows that, wait a minute, I'm in the UK. I probably should say something about Doctor Who. No.
Yeah, what do we make here? Doctor Who? Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't go to the Lion's Den to talk about it. And say, I'm going to avoid talking about Doctor Who, the one show that we actually put money into here. But
Or announce its cancellation.
I thought you should know first.
I'm here in Edinburgh just to say the show's been killed.
Yeah.
What show? Oh, I forget.
Good news and bad news. I've got a promotion, and your show's been canceled.
That would be the most executive thing to say.
That's
my extra pay is equivalent to the budget for this show that I just canceled.
That's That's
You wouldn't say that, but that would be the case.
That's what Ricky Gervais in the UK office did. And he goes, good news and bad news. I've been promoted, and this place will no longer. We're merging with the place from Swindon. And he goes, you're still all thinking about the bad news. There is no good news, because David Brent was more happy that he was promoted than the fact that the entire office is going to lose their jobs.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that is corporate stuff in a nutshell. Anyway, so it looks good news for Doctor Who, even though there was... it's going to be a while until they make a third season, should one be commissioned, because they also revealed the first teaser, I guess. You can't really do a trailer, really, for a theater play, but the production of...
The Importance of Being Earnest.
Importance of Being Earnest, thank you. The Oliver Oscar Wilde play, where Ncuti Gatwa is playing that from like November through to...
As Ernest P. Worrell.
January, is it? Yeah.
Sometime into early 2025.
Yeah. Just in time for his appearance at Gallifrey 1. He's not coming to Gallifrey 1. Just a rumor. So just that I'm starting here. So there you go. So Disney likes Doctor Who. End of. Yeah. More so than they like The Acolyte. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's certainly true.
Yeah. Because they canned that. This is the great thing about putting all their money and all the money of a production into it and getting subpar results, as opposed to just licensing it and kicking in a, rounding up basically to the money, to the budget that they're making Doctor Who with. That's the difference. You could roll with the perhaps not quite a financial windfall as much when you're only kicking in a bit of it, as opposed to when you're paying all of it like you were the Acolyte. So
yeah, and I imagine Doctor Who money doesn't come anywhere near what the Acolyte money was.
No, I mean,
like on either side of the thing.
No, like even Russell T Davies way back when they says, oh, what is it, like, is it 10 million an episode? I says, no, it's not even that. So it's probably like somewhere between like 6 and 8 million maybe an episode, which is
still substantial for Doctor Who.
Substantial for Doctor Who, but let's face it, it's still kind of chump change for some of these other shows that are like costing, face it, way too much money.
Fine with that.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Absolutely fine with that.
Yeah. Way too much money to make TV these days. Multicam, one studio, director up with the... I mean, that's just... You can make it for 20 grand.
The answer is right in front of... First of all, they never made it for 20 grand back then. Come on.
No, they didn't. Not adjusting for inflation anyway. Anyway, hey, it's the Doctor Who proms are happening on Monday. This comes out on Sunday. We're recording this Saturday. Monday, August 26th, there's 2 performances of the Doctor Who proms. It's being broadcast live on the BBC Radio, and it's going to be hosted by one Catherine Tate. She was in Doctor Who, and it's going to be a gal for one, actually. Yeah. It's going to be hosted by her, so that's pretty cool. So you can listen to it live, but it's also being videotaped on 2-inch videotape to be played back later on in the year.
SD. Played back on one CRT that you can watch in, I don't know, Camden Market or something.
Yeah, you'll have to crowd around somebody else's tube TV to watch this, but it is being recorded.
Goblin. It only plays on Goblin TVs.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm not sure if I'll listen to it live. I remember listening to it live the first time it happened, maybe. Or maybe it was the 50th anniversary concert I listened to live, because that was a pretty cool thing, because we were all excited to hear the 8-minute montage of classic music, you know?
Which is ridiculous in retrospect.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to feature that much in these prompts. It's mostly Murray Gold stuff with Saganak and all the stuff, of course, from Jodie Whittaker's era. So that's happening on Monday. So tune in, BBC Radio 3, and available on BBC Sounds for 30 days, which I believe is still available worldwide, right?
Yeah, last I heard, yeah.
Yeah, worldwide. That's pretty cool. So there, Chris, you going to turn into that at all, or are you going to just let it
Monday?
go?
Nah, I'll be at work or sleeping, depending on the time of day. What time of day was it again?
2:30. So that's like 5, so in the afternoon.
5:30 a.m. Yeah, I'll be asleep.
I'll be asleep too. And
it's
then
going to be on demand afterwards, I would assume.
Yeah, on BBC Sound, so you can listen to it for 30 days. So we'll give it a spin. We'll give it a spin and talk about it next week on the show. That's a promise.
So we may break.
No, we might break, but it'll be there. There's also a big interview that Patrick Mulcairn did with Murray Gold in the Radio Times about his work on Doctor Who and stuff. So you can read that.
Has it been broken into 10 almost an episode, 10 different articles?
10 different articles? No. No, other websites have mined the Radio Times article for 10 articles.
Yeah.
It's an exchange program. That's what you do. You know, Radio Times makes a thing, 10 articles. We do an interview.
And this exclusive to Jimmy Loves Sci-Fi.
Yeah. Just really, I give my opinion on the Murray Gold interview in Radio Times. All right. So there you go. Read that. Read the whole interview if you want about Murray Gold writing music for Doctor Who. But they also mentioned, I'm just scrolling through it a little bit, but they're not previewing any tracks for the Christmas special, for instance. It's basically everything up to and including now, but nothing after that. So there
they should just play some sleigh bells. There's your preview.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah. Nicola Coughlan plays sleigh bells in the Christmas episode. We have some tat to talk to you about here. First off, we should mention that on the BBC shop here in North America, you can get you can pre-order. If you like some risk in your life, you can pre-order the 60th anniversary Blu-ray, which comes out December 10th. I say that because what was it now? The season 15 and season 20 and Celestial Toymaker. We each got twice, I think. So I'm still kicking around two extra copies of the season 20 box set after waiting nearly a year to get it, and now I have 3 of them.
You should really do something with those.
I should. I might donate them. I don't know what's going on. It won't.
Don't give them to me because I already got Chris's.
Chris
you got my spares.
Thanks once again.
So we'll see. Yeah. And of course, Chris, you need to email email the BBC shop. It has literally been over a year since you ordered the
July of last year
giant box set that had never arrived and that you've already paid for. So you need to, because I did that.
It's just a little wet. It's still good.
It's not still good. It's gone. It's gone. I emailed them a few months ago. I said, listen, either you refund it or tell me what the status is. And 12 minutes later, here's your refund. It's not coming back. So
I'll see you in court, BBC shop.
Yeah.
I was just before we started recording, I was on Amazon looking to see if those releases were listed there yet, and they're not.
No.
But I came across a listing for that giant set that maybe exists, and just the litany of terrible comments about it, and its packaging, and oh, this game's scratched and that game broken. I got 2 of this disc and none of that disc, and it's just maybe I should.
I am glad I did not spend money on that.
Yeah.
Well, BBC Shop has had my money for over a year, so enjoy the interest you've earned on it, you bastards.
No, give it back.
I did get season 15 finally.
That's right, you did. You actually bought that yourself too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I sure did, like a big boy.
Surprised by that, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about a later one that I might buy too.
Oh yeah.
The end of our news list.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that one. I think I've decided. I think I've decided later on today I'm gonna finally crack the plastic on Toy Maker and watch that.
I got about halfway through and I'm like, this is crazy bleep.
Yeah, it's
and I gotta get back to it eventually.
Yeah, I like it.
That's part of why I look forward to it, because I want to. It's been so maligned. I just want to see if the comments are worthwhile.
The animation works perfectly with how bananas the whole thing is, as far as I'm concerned.
It does. And oddly enough, it was that style of animation was greenlit before the Giggle ever came along. So it wasn't like a deliberate tie-in to the craziness of the Giggle with the Toy Maker's Return. It was always going to be that way, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, given that both are kind of bonkers. I did order, though, from the BBC Shop. I did throw caution to the wind and ordered the 15th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver. That is available on BBC Shop now. I know they released an early version. Well, the premiere of it, so to speak, was at Comic-Con about a month ago. And so I don't know how long it's been available on the BBC Shop. I just went looking for other stuff, and it was there, and I ordered it. I still think it looks like the bottom of a high-tech running shoe on one angle.
It really does.
But I will...
like a running shoe with jets that you can zip from building to building.
Yeah, maybe that'll tie in at some point. But I'm gonna. Awaiting shipping. I literally only ordered it like yesterday, so we'll see if how that shipping experience goes.
Well, Merry Christmas is what I'm telling you right
from the BBC Shop, and how many of them I'll get. We shall see. But so there are some books. By the way, there's no indication of any release date for the season 25, aka Sylvester McCoy season 2 box set yet in North America. I know it's coming out in October in the UK, but nothing yet here in North America. There is your Blu-ray update for Doctor Who. There's a whole bunch of books. There's a whole bunch of books are coming, which we will tell you about now. October 3rd. Is the Doctor Who: The Adventures Before. The blurb says, "What did Osgood do the morning of the day of the Doctor? What happened to Tegan before Arc of Infinity, and why does it involve strange sentient lights in the Australian outback? And what was the 10th Doctor doing in a Hall of Mirrors right before Planet of the Dead?" Well, Tegan was obviously on a layover from Sydney to Amsterdam. So that's where that was.
The 10th Doctor was visiting, was a sister of mine?
Planet
who was trapped in the...
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Trapped in the mirror?
There we go. And then Osgood was probably just having coffee, I think.
So there's a series of books, Star Wars books called From a Certain Point of View, where they get different authors to do short stories about different characters. Sounds like similar to this. So if you like this kind of stuff, check those out, because I've heard they're very good.
That's what it is. So yeah, these are things that happen right before big, I mean, if you consider Arc of Infinity and Planet of the Dead big events in the Doctor's life, then you'll find out what happens to the people, not the Doctor, or sometimes he's the Doctor right before those things happened. That's in this book that's coming up.
What happened to Tegan before Arc of Infinity? Well, I mean, thankfully that's an area that Big Finish has never mined.
Have they ever? I mean, maybe they haven't, because I know Janet Fielding didn't return to Big Finish for quite a while, and I know that it was just basically Doctor Who and Nyssa adventures for like 8 years.
Yeah, and all of them set between Time Flight and Arc of Infinity.
I think it should I think the Big Finish play with Tegan should just be like half an hour of Tegan just on the phone, just trying to negotiate her back pay from British Airways after she got turned.
That'd be great. Just escalating madness.
It's just there's just hold music for 12 minutes. And she's just sort of swearing in an Australian accent.
It's basically just a skit.
Yeah.
As only the Brits can do, ridiculous absurdity upon absurdity.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's coming out. Adventures Before. No notes on the authors yet, or even a proper cover. But we found it. We've done some. Chris has done some digging. He does the digging. If you don't like what happened before these adventures, well, maybe you'd like to find out what happened after them. On March 20th, 2025, it's Doctor Who: The Sequels. What happened immediately after some Doctor Who adventures. Some governments that what happened. I'd like to know what happened in Pluto immediately after the events of the Sunmakers. And the massive bloody coup that probably happened.
It's not going to
go
well.
No, it probably
not go well at all.
Would very poorly. But you can find no specifics about those stories. But that's also a sort of a follow up, a sequel, if you will, to the adventure, the Adventures Before. It's coming out in October. That's coming.
I can tell you what happened
in there. Yeah.
With Invisible Enemy is what's his name, Professor whatever his name was.
Marius.
He invented the Australian K9, who then went off and had adventures in that other TV show.
That's
there you go. See,
there's got to be a better. Yeah, I watched the first episode of that way back when.
I got 10 minutes in, and he said up and away, and I'm like, I'm out. I am out, K9.
Did I watch the whole episode? Now that I think about it, I know I watched the regeneration, so to speak. From old Matt Irvin K9 to new K9. And it's available everywhere. That show is available. It's on Pluto TV or Plex or some free, it's there. It's available. And I'm yep. Still not watching it. So
that's the thing that exists.
Yeah.
Did I have 12 or 13 episodes? It's a good chunk of stuff.
26 episodes. I'm fairly certain.
Two 13-episode series, yeah.
That's madness.
It's much like Star Trek. I'll never watch all of Doctor Who.
I guess well, it's not officially Doctor Who, though. That's the thing. It's not officially Doctor Who.
It's the Bob Baker verse.
Yeah, it's the Bob Baker
Well,
verse.
I can't go back on my own statement if there's no such thing as official pretend. So
the BBTU, the Bob Baker Television Universe.
That's what it is.
No, you got to throw an E in there.
Yeah.
Which confuses the hell out of me with DCEU. I'm like, what? Okay, fine, whatever.
It's kind of like if you sit you.
But it doesn't confuse you for Star Wars, though, right?
No,
I don't care.
The extra E for the expanded.
Yeah, but that's stuff that they've made into legends. It's all stupid. Who cares?
It's like if you were a James Bond fan, but you didn't want to watch Never Say Never Again. It's fine. It's fine. It's not.
It's like a
or Casino Royale, the first one.
It's like a great person once said, "There's no such thing as real fakery," or whatever it was.
Well, and James Bond is, I don't know if it still is, but it was copyright free and public domain for a few seconds there in Canada. So
was it really?
Oh,
yeah. I didn't know that.
So people were putting out short story anthologies and stuff because you can.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Rubbish. Is this really a thing?
True.
Really?
Look it up. I don't know if they've somehow got it back, but it was for a brief period of time at least. It was public domain.
That's
in Canada only.
Fascinating. I'm gonna need follow up on that, Warren. Not that I disbelieve you, but that just sounds like
I'll look it up. I'll look it up after this episode.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hold you to that. I won't, but I will. I will
Sure.
forget. I will forget. You get off lucky this time, Warren.
that would suppose there's a system of punishment that I would not subscribe to in the first place. So good luck with that.
I know. Let's talk about some more books. How about October 24th sees the release of 3 different Icons books. Are they all coming out the same day?
Nope.
No, they are not. First one is there are 3 Doctor Who Icons books. The first one coming out October 24th, Doctor Who, the 13th Doctor meets Frida Kahlo, the artist. From Mexico. There's a book about it. From
and a movie with Salma Hayek. And then the second one, Icons 2, coming out November 21st. The 10th Doctor meets Charles Darwin.
Find out he's a racist.
Never. With Silurians and stuff, so that's kind of exciting, actually. And then the third one,
when Charles Darwin takes a break from a long sea voyage to look for shells on the Galapagos Islands. Right. Warren, you've been there.
I sure have.
Yeah. So too has Paul Bettany in the great movie Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World.
As Vision.
As Vision. As Vision.
No, as the self-flagellating person from Da Vinci Code.
I don't watch garbage, so I haven't seen that.
I think you're on your own there.
Although I just said I watched Vision, so who the hell am I talking?
That's true. I like that. Not that I follow the Marvel shenanigans that
I would
closely,
never guessed.
but I'm always reminded of what is it? The Simpsons do Bible stories or something like that, and like Ralph Wiggum's character in one of these vignettes gets killed or something like that, but then he comes back at the very end. And Bart goes to Ralph, "Wait a Ralph, I thought you were dead." He goes, "Nope." And that's it. That's how they explain it. And anyway, I was reminded of that when this is James Spader is going to reprise his role as Ultron in the new Vision spin-off series. Thinking, wait a minute, both those characters are dead. What do you
Hold on?
Why? Yeah,
This is news to me.
Yep, it happened. It's actually officially announced that James Spader returning as Ultron, who's dead in Vision spin-off series, who is also dead.
But by the way, it's not as good as the Vader sessions where somebody took Vader and put other James Earl Jones stuff, but somebody took Ultron footage and put in other James Spader lines, and it's pretty damn funny. He's talking about how much he loves cocaine and all this other nonsense.
wow.
It's pretty good. Just look up James Spader, Ultron. I can't remember what the other voice. Maybe it's Red because it's a character from the other show he's in.
All right.
They could probably
Chicago, whatever.
They could probably take a few choice lines from Secretary and
It's probably in there too. Like it is pretty funny.
Don't know if Maggie Gyllenhaal is playing a character in the show or not. Anyway, Doctor Who Icons 3 comes out much later, April 24th, where the 15th Doctor meets Shirley Jackson.
All right, why not?
Who writes stuff. I don't know much about Shirley Jackson, to be honest. So, what'd she write, Warren? Did she write stuff?
Haunting of Hill House, I believe. I could be getting that wrong.
Is that a Netflix
iconic
show?
British horror. I think it might have. It's definitely 2 movies.
Okay.
The second one from the 90s is absolute CG garbage. The first one from the 50s is apparently very good, but I've never seen it.
Also CG garbage, though. But in a different way.
She wrote The Lottery. Okay.
Oh. That book mentioned in that episode of The Simpsons where everyone wants to buy the lottery.
Your media literacy is
very bad
and
very
almost
bad.
Inspiring in a way.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I don't read that many books, all right?
No, really?
So sue me. I guess
I will.
I guess I wouldn't do well in this Blythe Writers program that RTD is mentoring through Bad Wolf.
You're not the right age for one thing, or the right nationality, or have any interest in writing. So that's 3 strikes.
That's my segue. In celebration of Bad Wolf's 10th anniversary in 2025, Jane Tranter's production firm Bad Wolf is launching the Blythe Writers program, a quote, rolling 6-month paid development and training initiative to find and nurture the next generation of Welsh drama writers in association with Screen Alliance Wales. Participants will be mentored by Jack Thorne and Russell T. Davies, and also Marty Dickens as well. So 3 Welsh writers.
And he had paid £18,000 plus travel accommodation and other expenses covered by Bad Wolf.
That is more than any writer in the industry makes for any show that they've actually
No kidding.
So take it.
And probably American writers too when you get rid of it.
Yeah, speaking of the
this
lottery.
Year anyway.
That's the lottery right there, folks. So if you're young
I'm
and
going to
Welsh,
go there with a ridiculous Welsh accent and a bad mustache and try and get in.
like a common Welsh milkman in the Green Death, right, Warren?
Yes, my name is Mr. Snrub.
Yes. Well, come this way, Mr. Strub. You'll be paid in Welsh guineas and shillings. They still have, I don't think they've decimalized their money in Wales, but that's what would be paid in. It is not transferable anywhere else. You have to spend them in Wales. So I'm sorry.
Paid in weevils. Actual weevils.
Sorry, Wales. You're the victim of this. We dumped on Australia a lot recently, so Wales are getting it. Even though you do make our favorite show and have done so for 20 years.
Just remember, Canada gets it through the eyes more than either of them put together.
Canada doesn't even get mentioned.
No, I mean by us. We abuse it constantly.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Anyway, so if you're a young Welsh drama writer, you got that's your outlet right there, kids. So go nuts. We can't do it. So, some big Finnish news. Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, Saving Time, starring Georgia Tennant, don't you know, reprising her role as Jenny, is coming to Big Finish in October.
Mm-hmm. And
stories.
and Anna Lundberg. You don't know. Did you watch? That's
not a
Michael
clue.
Sheen's. It's Michael Sheen's.
Oh no, I haven't watched Staged.
okay.
No.
Do you watch Staged?
No, I
Nope,
haven't watched
couldn't
Staged.
care less.
No.
Two actors yelling at each other. Thank you, but no.
No, Warren didn't like
Oh,
that.
Staged is hilarious.
It looked good, and I wanted to watch all of it, and then I didn't. And now it's like, well, that era of COVID is long past, and it feels weird to go back to it. You know what I mean?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last Christmas before, one or the other, I bought Kat. There's a collection of scripts from Staged, and I know she enjoyed the book. So
You could perform that.
yeah, it's you're right. It could be a tough watch nowadays. But
It's a weird thing.
Back when it was new and current, and Zoom calls were all the only thing and whatnot.
What a blight on the nation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think we were a blight before COVID, but nevertheless, as we say this on the Zoom call,
True. Little has
No,
changed
it's-
for us over the last 5 years.
it's enjoyable. I mean, you get to see Judi Dench swear, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true. Yeah, they're all on some streaming service too. Staged is.
Probably. I don't know if it's a BritBox thing, but
I think it is. I think it's either there or Canopy, or it's on somewhere. I know I've come across it, and I've added it to a list. And I know I watched the first episode at the time. They're like 12-minute episodes. Like they were really like short episodes. It was an ingenious way of making a show in those days. And
if I Google where to watch Staged, then BritBox is one of the results.
There we go.
Amazon Prime, Apple TV, buy it on Apple TV, or buy it on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Lots
I
of
will
plays.
buy
That's
nothing
fun.
on YouTube ever, just out of principle.
it's fun.
Well, you can buy Jenny, the Doctor's Daughter, Saving Time off the Big Finish website, which, as we mentioned last week, is temporarily reverted back to their old one while they get the new one all fixed up. Basically,
It's a bi-generation.
It's
That's what that is.
It's a secondary control room, I think. Basically, is what it is.
Well, I'm going to buy things just because of that.
There you go. I knew that would be a selling point.
To round things out, speaking of things to buy.
Oh my
we
God! So
can.
we're leaving this to the end because technically it's not Doctor Who, but who cares? We had Graham Cole and Jonathan Helm from the Blake 7 book, the wonderful Blake 7 production diary Series A while back when that came on. Blake 7 Series A is coming to Blu-ray, kids. The actual Doctor Who team behind the Doctor Who collection has made this. I was aware of that. There's like Matthew Sweet interviews on it. There's like
Mark Ayres did music.
Mark Ayres
Lee
did all
Binding
this
does
stuff.
the artwork.
They've done. I know, Warren, that you don't like when they do like updated effects, but some
I'll
of
watch
these
it once. I admire the attempt.
But some of these effects are actual proper models made by like Mike Tucker and Matt Irvine, who of course worked on the original show, and actually like done physical. Because let's
pretty
face
rad.
it, sometimes
rad.
in Big Finish, the Liberator flying through space was just a cardboard cutout flying through space. It wasn't even a model shot. So they're making model shots for these. It's quite something. It's coming out in the UK on November 11th. A little birdie tells me that there will be a North American version coming. So stay tuned for that.
Which is a happy surprise. Like I expected, UK only, maybe Australia, New Zealand.
Australia certainly will be there, but I was not
expecting a North American release until you mentioned that.
Yeah,
like it's definitely Doctor Who adjacent here, which is not all that obscure anymore, but still, this is like definitely going down the rabbit hole a bit in North America. Now, explain Series A to me. Is this all 4 series or just the one?
No, just the first.
Just the one.
So they just called them ABCD instead of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Although,
But even going through like the season 9 Blu-ray set, as I'm still slowly working through the lengthy interview piece with Michael E. Bryant, like him talking about getting a phone call from to direct the first was it first 2, 3, whatever it was of Blake 7, like
4, I think.
So like it's like Blake 7 and Doctor Who are inextricably linked.
Very
like
much.
just the actors and
The music specifically.
Music, Dudley Simpson's music,
and the
way it looks,
directors
like-
and the producers.
It feels like you're watching more Doctor Who, even if you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even as Bryant says, he's like, when he got the phone call to direct, he's like, nah, I think I'm done with Doctor Who, and then he was the selling point was, well, it's not Doctor Who, it's more for grown-ups, etc., etc. obviously he went on to, direct whatever number he directed.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I can't remember how many he directed, but he actually posted an interview on his YouTube page, Sailing Gently, because Michael E. Bryan retired years ago, and he just makes videos about sailing now, and it's kind of great.
Yeah, good for him.
But he posted a thing about Blake Seven the other day. So, but yes, I'm hoping. I don't know when the not so much an announcement, maybe when a pre-order link for like Amazon North America, like US or Canada, shows up, but I'm holding out on pre-ordering for that. I would encourage anyone out there who is interested in getting this to pre-order it, because it basically shows that hey, there is a good demand for this. It's let's face it, Blake Seven is popular, but it's not Doctor Who popular, and so I feel like we might have to like push this a little more to get all 4 seasons out. But given the amount of effort that they put into these 4. This set here, I can't imagine they would just leave the other 3 lying there without completing that. But
I would hope not. But
yeah,
sometimes you get that funding for the first one, and the rest don't materialize.
That's true. So
the fact it's only 4 might work in their favor.
That's true.
That's a lack of optimism that is so specifically tied to Blake Seven itself.
Yeah,
it's great.
I mean,
just scrolling through Michael E. Bryan's IMDb listing.
Sure.
He did 5 episodes altogether. As I scroll past something else called Breakaway with a picture of Martin Jarvis as the The Way Back, The Web, Project Avalon, Deliverance, and Aurak. So 5 all from that
all
series.
from that first season. Yeah, The Web is not good. That's a really bad episode.
Is that the one with the yelling little creatures?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that one's terrible.
Yes.
That almost killed me from watching it.
It's the one that always like, oh wow, these first 3 episodes are awesome, or first 4, and then you get to the web and going, oh man, maybe
that's your ultimate litmus test is if you can make it past that one.
You're fine. Yeah.
You're fine.
So the one of the hosts of Visit Camp, Sam, texted us a couple days ago saying, I got past the censorites. I'm like, dude, it's gravy from now on.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Like, you got past the censorites. You've done better than many.
Yep, that is the one. Anyway, I hope to. I'll be checking like daily for this, because I want to specifically. I want to pre-order the North American version, because I want to show that hey, there is a
demand on this side of the Atlantic. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So
I will absolutely be doing the same if it happens.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll get it too. For sure.
Wow, look at that.
I haven't even finished Blake 7, but this might make me finish Blake 7.
I know. Well, you know what? I mean, it's there's also like all the stuff that Kevin John Davies did for the first 3 DVDs seasons of Blake 7 that never came out. All that stuff's going to be here, archival stuff. Of course, because and they've made like a big new documentary. Chris Chapman had made like an 85-minute documentary just on season 1. Here's the sad thing, is that between the time that they released those DVDs and Kevin John Davies made those, now like we've lost like Paul Darrow, Gareth Thomas, David Jackson, his gang. Like they've lost some significant contributors to Blake Seven's history and lore. So it's great to have all that archive stuff and new stuff available for this. So
you're skipping your favorite though, Stephen.
What's
PDFs. That? So many PDFs.
Richard Bignell did the PDF archive on this too, so he's done some great work. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to this set. I knew I kind of had an inkling that it was coming for a while, but to see it finally announced and about to be released is pretty exciting.
I enjoy that there's a tribute to Stephen Grief, because I prefer Travis 1.
I do too. I think Brian Crouch is a little over the top when he comes to his portrayal of him in season 2. But
I always just laugh at the character because he's supposed to be this ultimate assassin, and it is, but he has that silly eye patch. Like it's just a piece of like, it's like gel or something, or not gel. What are that black stuff that you put over a light? That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of great stuff on there. Well done, everyone who worked on that. Looking forward to it very much. I'm sure we'll profile it on this show when it gets closer to release date. Hopefully in both sides. Hopefully we won't have to wait like 8 months or something like that, like we have to for Doctor Who collection Blu-rays. Hopefully this will come around the same time. But we shall see. All right. That's it for our news, everyone. After the short break, let's go back to 1974 for part 3 of our classic series commentary on Planet of the Spiders.
Are the microphones wired in?
Small and the condenser, most merciful. We're looking forward to excellent duodecaphonic sound.
This is the moment when I get a real feeling of job satisfaction.
Welcome back, kids. It's the Classic Series commentary portion of this here podcast where we are looking at part 3 of Planet of the Spiders. Yep. We've just had a massive giant chase, which is pretty much over. We'll see more of it, though. We'll see a reprise of it. All of it on your legally purchased copies of part 3 of Planet of the Spiders. Here we go. Planet of the Spiders, part 3 in 3, 2, 1, play.
The best part is when they get to Metabulus 3 and it's totally not a set.
It's
you expect
amazing.
too much of 70s Doctor Who.
I gotta tell you, this story is really, I mean, not two equal halves, but like I honestly think the stuff on Earth is, apart from the chase, the obviously and self-indulgent chase, but I actually think it's pretty good. I actually think the monastery stuff, apart from all the the yellow face and all that, of course, but is actually pretty good. But the stuff on Metabulus, yeah, we'll get to it.
You know, in its own way, the chase isn't so bad. Like when you take it for what it is.
Yeah, but then when you think about like how padded out the
of course
5 and 6 are,
but it's still kind of fun to watch like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about the chase, which Stephen hates.
I do
and
not.
It's not great.
I saw a video recently. Gavin Rimo put it out on their Patreon feed, and just pointing out all the production errors on the chase part 6 alone.
Stephen Bate, if I've ever heard it.
Oh my God, Richard Martin is the sloppiest director Doctor Who ever had. It's just stunning.
Somewhere his estate is just drafting.
He's still
up a
alive.
memo.
As of time of recording, he's still alive. So, yeah, he's not a good director. Like, just not a good, technically good director. Like, there are just like screw ups all over.
Here's
the
the
place.
thing. Guess what he did? Got paid by the BBC, which is one up on any of us.
What wind is blowing that fern? That fern is going crazy. What is going on there?
Also, is this man Harry Potter? Why is he living there?
Tommy's the name Rip.
Yeah, I guess so.
Clever Lupton is my internet name. Don't look it up.
Clever Lupton 446 or something like that. There's the
69
yellow face.
420 probably.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, here's Lupton. Lupton's back.
He's given some real Tucker Carlson energy here. We might have said that in a previous episode.
You probably did, actually, 8 weeks ago. Yeah, Clever Lupton has used the fast travel technique to get back.
You mean from video games?
Yeah, from video games.
Which I always find kind of funny in a narrative sort of way. It's like, oh, you got to go through all these struggles, but you can just hit a button and all of a sudden you're in some other area that would take you so much. I'm more than happy to do so because it's a giant pain in the butt not to do so.
Yeah.
Is that meant to be spray from the water or him being really sweaty?
Either or both. And
why not both? Yeah.
It's a good attention to detail because I think we are now 2 weeks later. I mean, well, we're well after the filming sequence because now we're in a different studio block. They shoot 1 and 2, and then now we're into 3 and 4. I think is how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I could be. Well, I mean, I could be wrong, just because I know that they might have shot a bunch of Metabulus stuff on the same days. But now we're about to go to Metabulus now. Oh boy!
Yeah,
here we go.
That transition seems more high class than it actually is.
Yeah.
You ever play The Seventh Guest?
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about here. This is has real CD-ROM vibes to it. Also, Blackadder, the last, what's the Blackadder where the ghost is following him around as Series 1?
Yeah.
I don't remember which episode that is.
This technique here, you look at this where they're sort of fading back, from two close angles. It's very much like what Michael Ferguson does in The Claws of Axos.
Well, it works. It is very surreal looking.
I'm wondering if that's where he got the idea from. Except they're slightly not aligned, and so it just kind of feels weird, whereas I think the two cameras were aligned better.
But it's supposed to be kind of weird, right?
So, but the fact that it's fading in and out, and it just feels like he's got maybe he's got more eyes, like a spider. Maybe that's the point.
No, I have cognitive dissonance because I have my legally purchased et cetera, going on one window, and then I have you streaming it on the other window, and one has got more compression than the other, so it's getting even weirder over on here and not over there.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I got the same thing going on.
There you go.
And Star Wipe.
Yeah,
those are cool. I like that as a transition. It's neat.
Yeah.
It makes sense thematically with this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
this guy's just had the worst trip of his life. It's like, oh,
He does look like
I should not have drank that raw milk.
That's some bad stuff. Bad stuff.
They told me ivermectin would cure this,
Yeah.
but no.
That 14th whiskey is one too far.
Oh, it's funny.
Teenage
Yeah.
Joe Rogan lied to me.
I mean, in between recording, we did talk about John Durst's drinking problem, which likely led to his premature death in 1984. But
Ouch.
and so some no acting required there.
Now this looks fake as hell, but also kind of
Because the fringing is like,
yeah, I kind of dig
Yeah,
it.
and you have appendages disappearing. And,
yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh, look, his links.
It's Lynx. Yes. Yeah, that's right. That is
I said this
Lynx.
before, but like as a kid, I
Burgess.
never clocked this. I just thought he was some white dude.
Me too. Me too. Just some weird white guy. Oh, wow. Sarah is dressed up in a stripy thing. They let her use that coat to line the outer sarcophagus of Sutek and Pyramids of Mars.
Honestly, he just looks like a guy from the Ministry, but with a different outfit on.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying any of this. This is what I saw as a kid.
No, I know. It's, yeah. Thankfully, Doctor Who would commit more to the yellow face bit in 4 years' time.
Oh,
than
yeah.
They did Talent of Wei
Thankfully.
Chiang, which is the epitome of proper yellow face.
Okay.
Well, we also
a
had
sense I don't want to hear
That's
again.
the way you got to do it, you know.
we also had this season John Bennett,
We
who
did.
does
I know.
Lee San Chang
Yeah.
in Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Oh man, though, but it's there's a stuntman in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and as recently as like 5 years ago, he was being touted like, oh, this guy's appearing at London Film and Comic-Con, and they had a picture of him as one of the stuntmen in the bar scene in
It's
Mongolia.
not the guy who smiles and sinks to the floor, is it?
No, he's the guy in proper, full-on Lee San Chang yellow face makeup, and they say, "Here's who he played in Raiders of the Lost Ark."
No.
They were promoting that in like 2018 or something, and they filmed that in like 1981, obviously. So, you know, we think that, you know, Doctor Who had the monopoly on yellow. No, sadly, no.
Well,
That's
and
never anything I've thought.
honestly, Temple
No.
of Doom, amongst its many problems, it's a little iffy on the whole foreign culture thing.
Yeah.
Although I went for acupuncture once, and somebody was asking me if I'd seen the Raiders, and they're telling me how misogynistic it was, and I'm like, listen, I revere this movie, and I am in a very vulnerable position right now, so I'm not going to agree, but I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, I think they kind of, you know, like they kind of danced around the relationship that Indy and a
Yeah,
probably
I hadn't
very
thought of
young Margaret, what's her name?
Yeah.
Smallwood, Atwood? I can't remember.
No, Margaret Smallwood. What the hell are you talking
What's her
about?
name? What's her name in?
Karen Allen, and her name is not Marianne. Marianne Ravenwood.
Thank you, Ravenwood. I don't want to say Margaret.
I was enjoying the very 70s ginormous ashtray on his
Oh,
window side table.
Here's the thing:
Which
that
he
Dial of
doesn't even
Destiny
smoke.
completely age appropriate at that point, so
Yeah.
we'll just ignore all the rest of it.
yeah.
Did I bawl like a baby at the end? Sure did.
My mom won I don't know, bowling thing or something when I was a kid, and her prize was an ashtray, massive ashtray with a little bowling pin on it. It's like your trophy, like trophies
Was it
as
one of those-
ashtrays. That was the day.
My grandfather
Was
sorry,
it one of
go ahead.
those spinning ones where maybe you press the bowling pin
No.
and it spins to
It
get
was-
the ashes out of the
No,
way?
it was way too classy for that. It's a trophy, except it was like, congratulations, you won this 5-pin bowling thing. Smoke it up if you got them.
My grandfather, who I don't even think smoked,
Rawr,
although my
rawr,
grandmother
rawr.
did,
Yeah.
he had a big like ashtray with a tire sort of exterior, and then inside was glass, and it was like some local small town auto concern.
Right.
And it was about the most prairiest thing you've ever seen in your life. I just remember that for some reason. Well, because I grew up in the 70s and smoking was everywhere.
Oh, I know. It's I mean,
Now, that
some-
doesn't look too bad. all
no,
things
you know
considered.
what? Yeah, some of the little shots here of these spiders don't look bad, but they have to move. It's difficult for everyone involved.
I mean, don't look too hard, but
Yeah, I mean, you know, I like that they sort of keep it quivering a little bit, so it just doesn't look like what it is—a prop on the floor.
well, it still kind of does. But yeah,
Yeah, like right there. Well, I'm not sure what the. I'm not.
I am kind of getting at that angle. I was getting some Palpatine, some young Palpatine vibes. Off
Oh,
this guy.
from John Durth. From Ian McKellen should have been in Doctor Who as a young man, honestly. What was he doing at the time, you know?
Being cool.
I guess. What
You ever
was
seen
he
pictures
doing?
of that dude in the 70s? My word.
I haven't
I'm not
actually.
about to switch teams, but man, if I was gonna, it would be 70s Ian McKellen. Let me tell you.
I'm not Ian McKellen. Ian McDermott.
Oh,
is
Ian
who I'm thinking
McDermott.
of, yeah.
I have no idea what Ian McDermott was up
yeah.
to. I mean, he's about the same age, a little younger, I think.
Ian
but not by much.
McDermott was like 35 when he played Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, and so
And then
like,
when he was in, and he was the age appropriate when he was in
Phantom
prequels.
Menace celebrating its 25th anniversary. Yeah. As of this very
And I think
day.
they had to put him in more makeup for Rise of Skywalker.
Ian McDermott is 79.
79
Ian McKellen's 85.
85.
Okay, so not too far.
So McDermott would have been this 50 years ago. 39 here. Oof! Look at that mental wrestling.
He was
match.
born in is it Carnoustie, where they have that golf course thing?
That's a sentence that means nothing to me.
don't know.
There are
There's
no
a
words
golf-
I understand.
There's a
in
golf
that
course
sentence.
called I'm probably mispronouncing it, Carnoustie. And then he went to school at St. Andrews.
Also known
Okay,
for
I'm
its
going to look
golf
up
course.
young Ian McDermott, see what he looks like.
Young Ian McDermott. See if he ever showed up in
Famed
Doctor
for
Who.
Carnoustie is a small
did.
town on the Angus coast between Dundee and Arbroath,
Dundee.
famed for its championship golf course.
Probably not. He's probably got a proper Scottish brogue on, but they beat it out of him to sound
Then
the proper
that
Queen's
raga.
English.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a young Bilbo Baggins.
Did he go to RADA? He probably went to RADA.
Yeah.
No, Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
No, that's why he went nowhere until George Lucas came calling. Or should I say Richard Marquand? Where was... oh, wow, that was actually pretty good, throwing the spider on his back.
I have found the greatest picture of Ian McDermott, which I'm going to send to both of you.
Oh, nice. Uh-oh.
I don't know what it's from.
Uh-oh.
but it's-
Never put your priceless crystals on the Silva window like
I
a
got
pie that's
mine.
cooling off. Yeah, Warren stole it. That's a proper bouffant there, Pert. Look at that. He's probably...
Wow. Is that a cop badge on his chain?
Who, John Pert? No, that's his...
No, he's looking at the Ian McDermott thing.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm busy
It's
commentating
like an
on the
80s,
episode.
just to give the audience an idea. It's he kind of looks like Pertwee. He's got a big medallion. He's got big hair. He's got he looks like he could be either a pimp or a cop or both.
This is Ian McDermott. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And that looks like it's early 80s or so.
That's something. That is something. I do like the relation. I mean, I know that Tommy's, as we said in episode 1, the performance of Tommy is probably not something we do in good conscience today. But
Although I just talked about Hodor, which is more or less the same thing when you go down to it.
yeah, I suppose so. Hodor back in.
They're gonna do mummy and daddy things, aren't they?
That would be inappropriate. I do like that Doc Who and Mike Yates are just palling around here in a suede coat. I think I had a suede coat at some point back when I murdered animals.
So you're
Personally.
to emulate your
Yeah.
personal hero Bane from Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises.
What a confusing time. Barry Letts was very actually proper keen on Buddhism and everything, and there's a lot of Buddhist sentimentalities and traditions and everything in this, proper genuine. And then there's a guy that is trying to pretend he's Chinese as well. It's just there's
Welcome to England.
welcome
in America, probably,
welcome
too,
to
let's
the
be fair.
1970s. It's just
And Canada.
Sometimes you feel like they almost meant well, and then they just are
Even in the 90s.
So-
You'll
Yeah.
get stuff where it's like, oh, we're being progressive. And for the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on men doing the women's roles in Shakespeare then?
Yeah, right. I mean, they obviously blacked up back in then too. I mean, they were blacking up Anthony Hopkins in 1981 for doing Othello for the
Othello?
BBC.
Well,
yeah.
and men doing
yeah.
the women's roles in Shakespeare. I don't know if it was just pure patriarchy, but it smells like it.
Yeah, I think it's more patriarchal.
I don't know if it's 400 years ago or however long, no more than that, 500 years ago. So who knows what we were thinking at the time.
But throughout the history of acting and theater, just being a small company of actors, basically kind of treated culture as character. Oh, we can play that. We have range. I have range to play someone from there or from this background or that, and they just took it as being part of it.
Well, like Charlton Heston in that Orson Welles movie, the name of which escapes me, but the one after, not after Citizen Kane, but the one it took him 10 years to make and he'd gained a zillion pounds. Anyway,
Right.
Charlton Heston plays a Mexican. He is not anything close to a Mexican.
No.
Did he do better or worse than Patrick Troughton?
Touch of Evil. That's what it is. Better. Certainly better, because it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's got a great opening scene, which they immortalized in The Player in 1992.
Oh, wow.
But a bunch of dialogue about
Robert Altman's the player.
they're talking. Everybody's talking about their favorite tracking scene, and Touch of Evil is mentioned as one of the best ones, which it is. It's really good.
Touch of Evil.
They basically go through the entire town in one tracking scene.
Wow, eat your heart out there.
With,
look at that. He had the crystal the whole time. We could have
with
solved
Henry
everything.
Mancini music.
John Pertwee's doctor could still be alive if it wasn't for Sarah Jane Smith running off without. That is good dramatic tension, irony. I don't know what that would be called, but
yeah, just good drama. Full
good
stop.
drama.
Good proper drama. Exactly. Dag nabbit.
And yet, despite murdering John Pertwee, she's literally John Pertwee, the actor.
Yeah.
She's a beloved companion.
That's true.
So this just in, Warren calls Sarah Jane Smith overrated.
Controversial.
Shocking if true. Wow.
All right, other YouTube. Here, I'll
He's
do
gonna-
half your
he's-
job for you,
he's-
YouTube.
Yeah.
Warren reacts to Sarah Jane Smith on YouTube.
Great. Just what the world needs.
I think we need more reaction videos. I think you're right.
No, we absolutely do not. Especially right after a trailer comes out. There's nothing I love more than plowing through 15 billion idiots to get to the actual trailer. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't often want to go, where's the corporate thing? But in that case, I really want to see the corporate thing, and not some ding-dong's version of it.
Right.
I would, one day, one year, perhaps, I would love to do a reaction video and expose you two to Eurovision songs.
Well, that's never going to happen. So.
Yeah, I don't think anyone sees
On
that.
account of complete and total apathy and indeed abject hatred. Mm-hmm. So,
Terrence Lodge there was in Macroterror. That's what he was in. And also in Carnival of Monsters. So pretty much everyone.
Was he one of the functionaries?
He was one of the three. He was Orem. I don't remember.
Oh, those
names,
guys, yeah.
Peter Halliday,
different
Michael
clown
Wisher.
suits.
Not
Yeah.
the functionaries. Yeah.
Peter Halliday, Michael Wisher, and Terrence Lodge.
Oh, he was the third. Okay.
I don't know anything about Buddhism, but standing on that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like a ideologically not smart thing to do.
Oh no!
Whoa.
Here we go, kids.
Whoa.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah,
no!
yeah.
No. Oh, that's regrettable.
Not a million miles away from Skaro from The Magician's Apprentice.
That was like multiple layers of
Like
CSO.
the it's honest. I mean, there's say hello to Monument Valley. It's the lighting that is just like they're just into studio lighting. Like that's a big problem for one.
I've learned to embrace all this, and also I want to hit the Gorn show up for no reason, and laugh at Kirk, also there for no reason.
Yeah. Metabolus 3.
Metabolus, monorail.
Meta.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that all it takes? You could just hardwire coordinates into the programmer for you should do that for like a lot of planets. Just do what you did for
I think that's-
Metabolus.
Well, he has to get there first, though.
That's true.
There was a glorious time when you could say any old BS, and people would go, "It's computers." That time has passed now, I think. But up until maybe the 90s, I mean, given the net and other such atrocities.
I mean, that there, not a bad shot. Establishing shot.
Except for the static backdrop where the cloud's not moving.
But even as a kid,
Sabor.
even as a kid, I just thought like scenes that were supposedly set outdoors, but clearly indoors, just like turned me right off. Like the mutants, there's some scenes indoors. I think, nope, I'm out. I do not like this. I'm the illusion is shattered, and I was like 10 or 12 or something at the time. Frontier, same deal.
Oh, Frontios just is tiresome, frankly.
Yeah.
Even as a 14-year-old, I was like, come on, get on with it.
Yeah, but the lighting on this, like you don't for 1 second believe they're outside. I mean, they're just in a well-lit
This, for whatever reason, oh my God.
Yeah.
This reminded me, what is this? This is the worst. Like, if you ever find yourself in this hippie
There she
commune,
is.
you don't want...
Oh, there's Jenny Laird.
Jenny Laird, Warren. Jenny Laird.
What
the
about her?
mother.
Let's
The
see.
mama.
Yeah.
Mother
Also,
to I reckon to our.
I've forgotten all this happened.
Eric and Tuar are great Klingon names.
yeah.
They are.
Can I point out, Warren, that Gareth Hunt there in the mustache, not him. Gareth Hunt, where is he now?
Let's go with the hand on her shoulder.
On the hand on the shoulder. Let's go back to him a little bit. The TV show that you very much like to reference on this, he was one of the leads in the new Avengers.
When do I reference that?
It's been a while since you did, but you often said about how they shot the new Avengers in Canada for
2 episodes, which totally put me off watching it because why would I watch that? It's in Canada, who cares?
Jenny Laird has an award named after her because I think... before we do that, that's Walter Randall right there. Walter Randall's walking on set. Walter Randall, of course, was one half the people who owned Pertwee's Takeaway back in the 1970s.
Oh, nice.
Which also sprung up around the same time as we're recording this. And oddly enough, it's not Walter Randall speaking right here. We can't hear it, but it is someone overdubbing Walter Randall's lines. Which is super rare for a studio production like this, but that is exactly what's happening.
I don't know why, but I'm getting serious Hellbent vibes off this whole setup.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Jenny Laird has an award named after her for basically an actor doing the most amount of work for the least amount of recognition, or something like that. It leads me to believe that perhaps it's about who is overacting the most. Is
in the name of the Second Scott on Empire.
I feel like it's a backhanded compliment of an award that she has named.
Kind of like the Raspberries. Or the Razzies?
Yeah, maybe. It might be that way, but...
Until 1965, RADA awarded an annual Jenny Laird Prize for achievement in a thankless role.
There we are. That's what it was.
I mean, that could be more sympathy to you doing the gig.
I suppose, yeah. That would be really cool if they decided to, name
it's a bunch of actors, so it could go one way or the other. Either they're being complete jerks to each other, or they're actually being kind of decent to each other, knowing the deal. Mm-hmm. Because a gig is a gig.
So she weren't an actor, let me tell you. Searching through the Hoopla most popular movies, thinking, oh boy, some actors really had to collect a paycheck for these straight-to-video.
Well, I mean, that happens now. 20 years from now, you're going to go and find all those geezer action films from long since dead old guys, like all those Bruce Willis and Steven Seagal and Liam Neeson's another guy. Liam Neeson somehow is the top dog of these things,
right? But
they're all throwaway action junk that somehow... are a thing, and that's kind of that's what B movies were back in the old days.
Yeah. There it is. No, I caught you shot take them.
Suburb my husband love what to do why
what a tremendous performance. I shot oh, legendary,
just
absolute legend.
Just cattle prodded her.
Wow.
They Tebulus prodded her.
Barry Les just says, no, we're good. You sure you don't want to do another take? Nope, we're good.
It's
moving on.
Prodding. 2-take Frakes.
Moving on.
Which is Jonathan Frakes' nickname, apparently.
It is. I can't tell if it's because he's directing or if it's because when he was acting. I can't tell where that
I think directing
came from.
That comes from You've Got Red on You, which is the book. It's a very definitive book on the making of Shaun of the Dead. But right next door, whatever the hell Jonathan Frakes was making, Sky High, I think, or something like that, which was much more hype than Shaun of the Dead.
Right.
So they didn't say anything bad about him, but they said he was the exact opposite of what's his name, the guy that directed Shaun of the Dead. Why, I can't remember his name. Good God.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, thank you. But who was very exacting in every single thing he does camera-wise, right?
Oh, wait a second. I see Alan Chuntz and I see Stuart Fell, so you can kind of guess what's about to happen.
Is this
here.
like the polka dot door or something? Oh, I see.
It kind of looks like the polka dot door with all this crap. It looks like somebody here owns the electric unicycle.
It does.
It's got a real annoying folk fest vibe happening. Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's, I don't know, lighting. The lighting is the one thing I'm not good at. But I just feel like it's just lit like your standard, 3-camera drama.
That's because that's what it is.
You can
make the same argument with Star Trek.
There's
just
Terry Walsh.
But TNG and DS9 and actually all of them up to Enterprise.
Yeah, Pertwee's back is acting up by this point. So there you go.
Here's a blanket. That'll make things
Walsh.
better.
That's Walsh. That's Pert. Even though everything's backwards now. Oh, look out. Walter Randall's he's running off in different all over the place. Anyway.
There's a Sith village. What the hell?
That's Walsh. That's Walsh. That's Walsh. That's Pert. There we go. And we're done. That's it for him. He regenerates at the beginning of the next episode.
Yep.
Not so
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. So there you go. So we're now stuck on Metebelis for a little bit, since both Doctor Who and
more
Sarah
than
Jane
half
Smith are there.
the story.
Yeah, there's Christopher Burgess, though. Well done, Chris. Getting another credit.
Technically more than half, since about a good half of this was.
Dollar bills, yo.
Yeah. Walter Randall.
Dwar.
I think it's got to be
Oh,
Walter
Dwar.
Randall's last performance in. Look at that.
Kismet
Maureen
Delgado,
Moore.
is that related to Robert
Kismet Delgado was
Roger
the widow of Barry
okay.
Letts cast her as this, basically as a way of saying, you're kind of short on money now that your husband died, and so gave her a role in this as a
Well, I mean,
A pity role.
he was beloved, right?
Yeah.
And then,
it's a role's a role.
And then Kismet Delgado married
William
his face
Marlowe.
from-
William Marlowe
yeah.
from Revenge of the Cybermen.
Colony in Space.
Revenge of the Cybermen and
Revenge
Mind
of the
of
Cybermen.
Evil.
Well, that.
And if those of you are wondering what Ian McDiarmid looked like apparently in the 1970s, he looked just
There
like
you go.
that.
Look
So
at that.
There we go. Ian McDiarmid.
I'm saying 80s. That looks more 80s than 70s. to me,
You know
but-
what? He looks like Ian McDiarmid on the set of Young Ones, honestly. And that might
Yeah,
be
that
it.
totally- that totally
so
is what
if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see what Ian McDiarmid. That there is a YouTube exclusive, kids.
He looks like he was
like-
born at 40, like a lot of people.
Yeah, like a lot of people in the UK in that time, or indeed in life in the 1970s. But prove me wrong. Do so, though, next week as we do part 4 of the commentary for Planet of the Spiders. Until next time, I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
Born in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.